my name is Rosanna Serrano, and here's my beautiful model, Rosemary. And today I will be doing three beautiful things, which is the color. I'm also going to be cutting her hair and styling the hair. So let's get started. I am going to be doing some highlights of my beautiful model. And for that, I am going to be using a Blonder Plex lightener along with a 20 volume developer of 6%. And I am going to use a toner to neutralize some of the brassiness on the hair, or maybe a little bit of the yellow that we might get because of the underlying pigmentation of my model. And what I'm using right now, it would be Stroke 81, which is a blue ash, which will help me with the cool result. And I am also going to be using a 7-stroke 81 from Illumina Color. And this is going to add a little bit more three-dimensional color to the whole result. So I am going to be doing her roots or her new growth with 7-stroke 81, and then that's going to be the last step that I do after the highlights. Okay, so now we're going to start mixing our product, and I'm going to start first of all with the lightener. Now the lightener, because my model has long hair, I am using like about a scoop, and I am measuring with my bowl. As you can see here, I do have a measure there. So this is about a scoop of liner, and then the liner, you need to mix it with a developer, and I said before that I am using a 20 volume developer or a 6% developer. And I am using my measuring cup. Very important to measure your color for best results. And it's 1 ounce per scoop of product. And I'm just going to mix it right into the liner. Now, one really good tip. Whenever you're mixing your liner, first of all, you should never use your brush, because if you use your brush, you might get a lot of the liner in the ends of the brush, and then you may not have really good results. So instead of that, you want to use a whisk. Now I am going to start from the back forward, and I did create a, as you guys can see, it's more like an angle section on the top, and I'm going to start working from the back forward. Now the sections that I'm making for my model, it would be more like weaving in the back, and then I am going to do a little bit more heavier highlights in the front. Now I can see right through it, so that is perfect amount of hair, or the section, the width of the section for the product to go on both sides. Now on the back, we want to start by weaving the hair. So when I say weaving, meaning you go in and out, and I don't want to make the sections too thick towards the back, because we don't want to have like a very strong line in the back. So my weaving should be nice and thin, and it should follow through. So now we're going to start applying the liner. As you can see, I started by weaving the hair, and then also notice that I started applying it right below where the new growth is, because if I get really close to the scalp, I might end up with hot roots, and we do not want any of that. So I'm applying the liner all the way to the ends. And this paper is fantastic because Rosemary has long hair, so this really allows me to work in a very easy manner. So you always need to make sure that you have all the tools and you have everything that you need in order to not only make a beautiful result, but also be comfortable when you are working. So now once I applied all the way to the end, I'm going to get pretty close just to the tip of my section. I do not want to apply any of this product into the scalp, okay, because we don't want hot roots. And then I am going to do what is called flat foiling. So I'm going to place my next foil right on top of the other one. And it's just like a sandwich kind of thing. And I'm just going to fold it, and that's gonna stay perfectly where I want it to be. Super easy. So I'm gonna continue working my way to the front, as you guys can see, weaving. And then when I get to the front, I will show you how to make sections a little bit thicker so you can get your money piece. Okay, so now that I place about 3 foils towards the back, I am going to start including or adding a little bit more of like low lights to it, but not very low. So I'm going with a level 7. And because right now her ends are probably like a level 9 or 10 in some parts of it. So I am going to use a level 7 stroke 81. So we're still on the cool side of a blonde. And I am going to be using a permanent color only because I want the low lights to last a little longer. And I'm going to start with about an ounce. So all I need right now is open this a little bit more. That happens sometimes. But you need to go a little harder. There, that's perfect. So we do have the measurement in the side here. And it's like about a half of the tube, as you guys can see here. It's about an ounce. And with that as well, I am going to add an ounce of developer. Okay, so now I am going to start adding or placing some sections in between with color because I want to create a deeper result. So we want to go from like a 3-dimensional blonde. We want to add some lighter blondes, and then within this cool tone still, but we're going with different levels. So we have the highlights, and now I'm going to be using a 7 stroke 81, which is a level 7 blue ash. And as you guys can see, the section was already made, and because it's color, I can start right from the new growth and bringing it all the way to the end. Very easy to slide because I have my flat foiling technique. It's a very easy way to work, making sure that you get everything saturated. And I'm gonna go ahead and place another foil right on top of the new section and just place it on top. And the color section was actually allowing me to paste one paper with the other. So, all right, so now to recap what I just finished doing, I completed my sections in the top. So I did a triangle section in the top, and I started by weaving the hair in the back and alternating lightener with color. So the color is a level 7 stroke 81, which is a cool blonde. And then we are using a liner with a 20 volume developer. And the reason why I'm using 20 volume developer is because I want the process to be nice and slow. And because she's got long hair, we needed to do a lot more sections just to make sure that the hair is very well saturated and that the highlights come out really, really nice. And I really like to do my sections where I can still see my hand through it, just to make sure that everything is saturated and is very good at the end. So we have a very good end result. So you guys can see, I did flat foiling. This is called flat foiling, where the section underneath is color, and then the one on top is lightener, and then you just put one on top of the other. And this is a really cool technique because you can be very efficient by at one time doing your highlights and doing your color at the same time. Alright, so I'm going to start in the back. Now, like I said before, I'm only going to be taking like about 2 inches off the length, and I am going to keep it on one length, so we're not going to do any layers to her hair. She'd rather keep it all full in the back. Now, to start with, I am going to tilt the head forward, as you guys can see, so this way I can have a flat surface to work on. And I'm going to start right in the center. Now I am going to create a guide right in the middle, so this is going to let me know where to go when I'm getting ready to connect. So we're gonna go probably like about there, and So now I'm going to raise my chair a little bit. So this one I'm not bending and I'm keeping my back nice and straight. Very important when you work. We want to keep ourselves nice and healthy, and we don't want to have pains after we finish working. So again, going back from the center and working across, using palm to palm, so this way you don't damage your wrist as you go, and just basically bringing everything to the center, looking for my guide, keeping really nice tension as you go, looking for my guide, and cutting only to my second knuckle, because if I continue I might cut my finger and I don't want that. And then we're gonna go to the other side, again going back to my guide and connecting the line. And as you guys can see, I am bringing the hair to the back, and I am also staying in the back. I'm not moving around, because the moment you move this way, you're going to make that angle more like an angle instead of a straight across, is what she wants. So that's why it's very important to stay in the back to keep this length here. So I completed the back, super easy. And now I am going to turn my model around, and same way I am going to establish a guide in the middle. Now I'm going to take a little piece of hair from both sides of the part, as you guys can see here. And I'm going to tilt the head just a little bit towards me, so this way I can see what I'm doing, and it's super comfortable. You're not on top of your customers when you're cutting. And going all the way down, we do want to keep the length, so I'm going to start there. See, that's my guide. Now I am going to connect my front guide with my back guide. So that's my goal, connecting these 2 points. Very simple to do this. You're going to start by looking for your front guide. Go all the way down. Once you get to your guide, you're going to pivot towards the front, and you're going to connect going downhill. This way you preserve the length and you don't cut too much off. Again, going down, look for your guide, keep your fingers when you come together, and then pivot and connect to your second knuckle. Repeat, same step, go forward, connect, until you get to your guide from the back. So you're connecting from point to point. So if you guys can see, this is my front guide, this is my back guide, so that's all I'm doing, just connecting those 2 points. Very simple to do, and keeping my length. Look how beautiful it already looks. Okay, so now that I remove about 80% of the water from the hair, I am going to start blow drying it with a round brush. Now, because she has long hair, I am using a bigger round brush, and I am going to start in the back, taking my section. So I'm going to go under first. Okay, so now I want to show you a cool way, a good way to make some really nice waves. I section the hair, so I'm going to take like about, I would say like about 2 inches wide of a section, and I'm going to take my flat iron, go in, twist the hair, and then we're just going to slide, slide, slide as we go, all the way to the end, and then I'm going to let it go. So let's do a little recap. So I highlighted with 20 volume. I used the liner and 20 volume developer, and then I did use when I did the technique that is called flat foiling, where you do highlights and then you do lowlights at the same time. So I used a level 7, a cool level 7, and I toned her highlights as well with a cool toner. And I did the haircut, taking some of the length off. I think I took like about 2 inches off. And then in the front, I angled the front to allow for me to create this beautiful angle and it frames her face, so you guys can see. It goes beautiful with the skin tone. Cool blonde, it's amazing for her. And I think she really likes it. Do you like it?
Yes,
Love it?
I love it.
Excellent. So I hope you enjoyed my demo. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm really looking forward to meet all of you in person and show you my skills in person. Again, this is Rosanna Serrano, and looking forward to hear from you guys. Thank you.